Hey guys, I'm Dr. BJ Hardick with Max Living, and I'm here with my friend Kat Eccles, who is the co-founder of America's only certified organic juice franchise, Clean Juice, based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. But you're all over the United States now. Where is Clean Juice?
Yes. We just signed our 93rd unit.
Cool.
As of today. We're pretty much nationwide. We go as far north as Pittsburgh and as far west as Orange County, California.
Amazing. So how did Clean Juice start?
So Clean Juice started, we had our first daughter about 10 years ago, and I call myself a recovering Taco Bell addict. That's the way I ate growing up, and I was on the go and I was eating this kind of junk food, and I knew that I didn't feel right. So after I had this baby, I was like, I have to be healthy for her. I have to make sure that I'm the best me that I can be. And I really started researching food and how important eating organic and eating fruits and vegetables was for your body.
We were just saying, I find oftentimes that people actually make a change to organic or they start eating better, not because they necessarily have this giant health crisis, but they just know they need to make they need to move in a better direction.
Absolutely. And once you start doing it a little bit, you realize how good you feel and how great your body is reacting to it. So you want to do more and more and more.
So when you got on, I guess, a health kick, which is what people call it, did you start with juicing or did you flirt around with other ways of getting healthy?
So for me, my palate wasn't there that I could eat this huge plate of steamed Brussels sprouts and squash and all this stuff, but I knew how important vegetables were. So I found that I could stuff as many vegetables as I could into this smoothie and put a banana in, and it all of a sudden tasted really good.
Right.
So I really started with the green smoothies and getting as many servings of my fruits and vegetables as I could every day that way.
Okay, so then how did that go from the passion for veggies and smoothies to juice? Because it's very different.
It is very different. I think I say juice, and I really mean juicing and blending, and I think that they both have a real important purpose. I think, a smoothie is great if you want a meal and you want to keep the fiber of all the fruits and vegetables in your shake or your drink. And juicing is great if you want that fast, kick to your cells and you really want to get those nutrients fast into your body. So I think kind of learning about both and integrating both into my daily life has really made me feel as optimal as I can.
So some of the questions that people often have when they look at juicing is, first of all, is there an ideal way to start? So let's say somebody doesn't have a clean juice in their area and they want to juice at home. Are there some simple basics that people should start with to create kind of like an ideal juice as a base?
Yeah, I think the best advice I could probably give is, start with making it taste the way you want it to taste. Make it taste good so you stick with it. If you're kind of making it weird and it tastes disgusting, you're never going to go back to it. So if you have a favorite fruit like strawberries, throw it in there with banana and a handful of spinach. You can't even taste the spinach and you're going to like how it tastes. You're going to keep coming back for it.
Yeah, no, I know once, I did a segment just like you're doing this with us. I did once on my station back home, and to throw spinach in a smoothie, they were flabbergasted that people would put vegetables into a smoothie.
Yeah.
But no, you don't taste them. You absolutely get those in there.
Totally.
And I think we all agree that kids, you have kids?
Yep, 5.
5 kids?
Yeah.
Wow, you don't look like you have 5 kids.
Oh, thank you.
No, but well, in all honesty, when you take better care of yourself, you just do fine.
Yeah,
when you think
absolutely.
about it, most people when they've dealt with having 5 kids, they feel kind of like they're kind of beat up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
But our whole philosophy is that the body was designed to thrive in the first place.
Absolutely.
That if you take good care of yourself, you can experience abundant health. And just because you reach a certain age or because you have 5 kids, I guess nowadays I don't see people necessarily as looking a certain age. I never find that I say, oh, this person looks 60 but they're 40. No, I think you look healthy at 40 or you look unhealthy at 40,
So
or you
true.
look healthy at 50 or you look unhealthy at 50, and that's what it's all about.
Yep.
So I know though that in the juicing world, when a lot of people start, there's these common questions that people have, and one of the questions comes down to the 2 types of juicing. And I think that's become more prevalent lately. So, historically, people just said, great, that's a green juice.
Right.
Get the veggies into the kids. But now people really pay a lot more attention to cold press, which I know is what you guys do, versus the classic centrifuge juicing. So I guess what are the pros and cons to each of those, whether you're going out to get a juice at a place like yours versus making it on your own at home?
Sure. So we actually do both at Clean Juice just because we believe in them both. So a centrifugal juice, it's probably any traditional juicer that you've ever seen before, and most at-home juicers are centrifugal. And they're great if you want to get, all sorts of different flavors that you wouldn't normally get. But within 30 minutes, those nutrients really start to break down, and it essentially becomes just sugar water. So centrifugal juice is great, but you really need to drink it right away. Cold press is what we do, and we make these in every single location, and we make them on a huge, like 6-foot machine in the back. It's this big cold press technology, and what it does is it slowly presses the nutrients so they're preserved, so they can last 3 to 4 days if they're bottled correctly in a bottle like this.
So do you bottle these for a 3 to 4 day expiry?
Yes. Yep.
Wow. So I mean, I have to imagine from a production perspective,
Yeah.
that involves a lot of math.
Absolutely.
With
And
all with with all of the locations, and B, because you're using all organic.
Yes, yes, and that's super important to us. I would say, actually, if I could give any sort of advice or tip on juicing, it's always choose organic, whether you're on the go or you're at home. It's just so important because our produce, and especially things like spinach and strawberries and celery, they're so sprayed with pesticides now. So when you're drinking this, you're getting pounds of vegetables in this juice. And if you're drinking pounds of vegetables with pesticides all over them, you're getting those pesticides too. So yes, organic is very, very important to us.
Tell me what your thoughts are on this, because the way I learned it, and I don't really know that I can back it up with a study just off the top of my head, but when I'm consuming a vegetable before it's juiced, because it has lots of fiber, that if I'm consuming a vegetable and maybe it was sprayed with some pesticides, that I'm actually doing my body a favor by keeping the fiber in there, so that that I would maybe be better off blending a non-organic vegetable. But if I'm going to juice it and I eliminate some of that fiber,
Right.
it's actually taking away from my body that which I would use to detox it.
Sure.
So that's what I always learned was the reason for going all organic
Yeah.
when I'm juicing.
Yes, certainly for juicing. We would recommend all the time doing it, but
Yeah.
if you have to choose one or the other, the juicing, like there's no fiber in it, so it hits your cells immediately.
Yeah.
So yes, if it's non-organic, those pesticides are going to hit your cells just as quickly as those nutrients, and they're really going to cause damage and a lot of long-term effects of that. So
And I know as well that specifically with cancer patients, that they have a real energy taxation, and juicing is a great way to get the
Yes.
nutrients right to the cells
Absolutely.
instantly. So
Absolutely.
although one of the questions that I'd have, because obviously in Max Living we really advocate for getting away from sugar.
Yeah.
And one of the issues that has really come up the last few years, I actually, back in Canada where I live, I have some friends who own a juice company, and they actually have started to do more blended juices as opposed to pressed juices. And they're actually doing gazpachos and other things. And they've found that their juices that have sold more in the last few years are the ones that contain less sugar. So they've actually seen people moving away from getting the juice where there's more fruit. And they're saying, man, these juices that were, mango, pineapple, people just don't want them because we're getting more sugar in the juice. Have you seen a similar trend, and what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the sugar that people could be potentially consuming when they're having a juice?
Yeah, sugar is such a controversial topic. I think for me, I really try to stay away from processed sugars or any added sugars in general. So when I'm eating, a banana or maybe a little bit of fresh orange juice, it's okay because that's the only sugar that I'm getting in my day. But for someone that's eating a lot of sugar, it definitely is better to stick to more vegetable-based juice. And all of our juices, we try to make sure, like our orange juice has some orange and pineapple, but it also has carrot and turmeric. So we really try to make sure that we're adding some vegetables in with the juices. And these are great too. We call them kind of gateway juices. So this is going to be good for someone that comes in that's eating fast food every day, and they're not going to go straight for the green juice because that's not going to taste good, right? But they're going to taste this orange and they're going to say, oh wow, that actually tasted good, and keep coming back and hopefully eventually move to the all vegetable juice.
I like the term gateway because they probably were having plenty of sugar to begin with in the
Right.
form of an ice cream sundae or
Sure.
something. So they might have a net sugar dip a little bit, but actually be coming from a more natural source. So let's just talk about some of these as well. And I'm curious as well, because you obviously have juices on their own, but then some other fun things like the cacao milk. One question, so this isn't quite a juice because you can't really juice in a cold press cashews.
We actually do.
You can do the cashews in a cold press?
Yep, so you can do certain nuts in cold presses, and it makes these nut milks, which are awesome.
Wow, so I didn't realize that those are in cold presses. Cool.
Yeah.
So this would be organic cashews, organic vanilla, organic cinnamon, organic maple syrup, organic cacao. Can you do cacao in the cold press?
No, so we only we only press the cashews, and then everything else is added afterwards in a blender.
Awesome. Is there, I noticed when you do add a sweetener to these, you use organic maple syrup?
Yes, so we only use maple syrup and honey and dates. because those three things all have benefits to them as well. You're getting some trace minerals and like the magnesium in the maple syrup. So we never use agave or, of course, cane sugar or white sugars that are just empty calories.
Are there any other liquid goo, I call them, that people should avoid? I mean, obviously, I'm glad to hear you talk about agave.
Yeah.
And I've seen when I've been out on the West Coast, as I'm sure you have with your franchises out there, many years ago, agave was being used in everything.
Yes.
And I went to some places out there, and it was about 3 years ago, you started seeing the signs pop up saying, we do not use agave.
Yes. Yeah.
Are there any other ones that people should avoid?
I think agave is definitely the biggest offender. And what we found, which is unfortunate, is some other concepts will have on their menu that there's, a kale pineapple smoothie, and then you watch them make it and they're literally dumping spoonfuls of cane sugar into the smoothie and it's not even listed up there. So just really knowing what's going into your products when you go to places like that is important.
Right. So they call it a kale pineapple smoothie because it's
kale, pineapple, and
it has
sugar.
kale and pineapple, yeah, with other things.
Right.
Yeah.
And pineapple is so delicious and sweet, it doesn't need that sugar, So it's just unfortunate that as Americans, our palates are trained to want that sugar when something like pineapple is sweet enough on its own that we don't need it.
So what types of, we talked, briefly about cancer, for instance, about cancer patients trying to get in the quality of nutrients if they have energy taxation. What other types of health changes have you seen, not only for yourself, but probably just customers who just start doing this stuff and they start getting in more quality nutrients, either with juices or with blends or with the cleanse packages that you do? What types of changes do people notice when they start doing this?
I think it's everything. That's the awesome thing about health and how God designed our bodies. It's like once you make a little change and once you start doing something different, your entire life is affected.
Yes.
So energy levels for sure. I think that's something that everyone can relate to. Everyone's low energy. We're all so busy. But when you start eating this way, you really have that kind of boost of energy, which leads to a host of other positive things, working out more, exercising. There's a lot of relationship between the way that we're eating and ADD and other sort of spectrum disorders. So I think that that's going to be something that really comes out in the next few years about how eating organic and more fruits and vegetables can help that. Of course, diabetes, really the list is endless, as you know, it's all related. So,
So let's look before we finish up at your actual tips on doing a cleanse, because obviously the word cleanse can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. What's your definition of the term cleanse?
So I personally love to use a cleanse when I'm just kind of resetting. I eat well, but I'm not a perfect eater. I was just in Disney World with our kids, and I don't think I ate a vegetable for 7 days.
No, but this isn't a joke. But are there juice bars at Disney World yet?
There's not.
Probably on the Disney property. There's probably juice bars somewhere.
I don't even think there is. Disney, reach out to us because we would love to put one there.
Right on, first franchise in Orlando. That's good. They got a lot of space for them down there. But I didn't think of the Magic Kingdom. You're going to find a lot of juice bars.
Right. It's just hard to eat healthy. So I came home. I was feeling so sluggish, so exhausted. So I'll do a cleanse immediately after I have a vacation like that. And I just really use it to reset, to kind of get rid of the toxins that I might have put in my body while I wasn't eating perfectly, and just remind my body that I love it and that it's going to be okay and we're going to go back to eating how we did. So
let's talk about your 7 tips on doing a cleanse.
Sure.
Because, do you advocate for juice cleanses exclusively, or are you talking about like juice alongside quality food, and for how many days?
So we generally, with our juice cleanses, you get these 6 juices, and that's all you would eat in one day. We do have an option that's called Juice Till Dinner, and you get 4 juices, and then you'd eat a really healthy, clean dinner like an organic chicken and an organic salad. So, if you're kind of more active or maybe exercise, it's great. That's a great option because then you can still get the actual food. But if you can do a full day of just the 6, that's really, really great.
Yeah, and that actually probably freaks a lot of people out, but the body is designed to go without solid food for some period of time.
Absolutely.
So your other tips are drink water, like lots of it. We recommend at least 1 full glass of water between each juice.
And that alone, we know that people don't drink enough water, right? So that alone is life-changing if you're getting the amount of water that your body really needs.
Drink all juices 2.5 to 3 hours apart. This helps to maintain a full stomach. And would that be no matter what type of juice it is that you're doing?
Yeah, just spreading them out and making sure you're not, stacking them all in, just making sure you're drinking them throughout the day to make sure that your stomach is satisfied.
Yeah. So a little bit of a different concept than, fasting, where
Sure.
sometimes you just do water for a full period of time.
Right.
Rather than a juice cleanse, you're just getting that consistently throughout the day.
Yeah.
Probably to keep your energy up, frankly.
Definitely.
Right.
And
So-
letting your cells kind of digest the nutrients slowly and as they come in.
Okay, so some folks are going to like this one. Coffee. While other juicing advocates may disagree, we believe if one is already a coffee drinker, that black organic coffee is okay to drink on the days you are cleansing. It can even add an appetite-suppressing boost score. No, listen, if you look at the actual research behind coffee, you would think that people should be having gallons of this stuff every
Sure.
single day.
Yeah.
Now at the same time, it's probably not exactly an ancestral food
Right.
that we all consume. But you're not opposed to coffee.
Yeah, I think you're already kind of shocking your body by taking food out. So, caffeine is a drug, and if you're already shocking your body like that and then shocking it, taking the caffeine away, it might be too much, and it might be, your body doesn't need that. And the coffee, like you mentioned, is really full of antioxidants and has a good kind of component to it. So as long as it's organic and black and, of course, no sugar added, we think it's okay.
Awesome. If you're starving and you don't think you can make it through, don't blow it. Have a handful of unsalted organic nuts or a small leafy green salad with a small breast of chicken. Just put down the ice cream. That makes sense.
Yes.
Do you find people struggle with that when they start a juice cleanse for a day, or even like juicing till dinner? Do you find you get people just calling saying, I just can't do this, I can't put in the time?
Yeah, and I really think a lot of it is a mental, you're thinking about it so much and you're thinking you're hungry and you're psyching yourself out. And if you just, instead of blowing it and running through the drive-through, just have a little nut and kind of calm down, you'll be okay.
Well, no, and it is so much of a mental thing. I can't tell you how oftentimes I've even myself thought, I'm hungry, I need to eat,
Yeah.
I need to eat.
Yeah.
And then a few hours go by and
You're okay.
you're okay.
Yeah.
So, if that was totally a physical experience,
Right.
you should be dying 2 or
Right.
3 hours later. So,
Right.
have drink number 6, the cult favorite, white, at least 1 hour before going to sleep. This allows the body to digest before zonking out for the night. So which one is that?
That one, yes, that one right there.
So why at least 1 hour before bed?
Just to make sure that you're not drinking it and then laying down and going right to sleep. Just letting it kind of work through your body a little bit, and digesting is better. So then you kind of sleep more soundly and you go to bed on not a super full stomach. This one actually, it's funny because everyone says they're so starving by the end of the night, but then they have this and they feel really full. So this is really kind of comforting and everyone loves it.
And this has the cashews and the cinnamon.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So, and I love this one. So why don't you tell me about number 6, self-reflection?
Yeah, it says, use this time for self-reflection. God sometimes talks to us deepest when we are the most still and focused. Those who are tested deeply, he uses greatly. Clean juice for us, my husband and I started it. We were super strong in our faith, and it's something that's really important to us. And we just felt that clean juice was a calling for us, and we really wanted to make sure that God was never, of course, forgotten in all of this. And I think cleansing is a really awesome time to kind of reconnect with that and slow yourself down and just kind of listen to what God's telling you. And God wants us to be healthy, and he wants, our bodies are a temple from him, and he wants us to take care of them. So it's really important to us, and we found a lot of our guests really respond to that as well.
I love it. Thank you so much for spending time. We look forward to, more work together.
Absolutely.
And if you haven't already checked out Clean Juice, we're talking 93 locations, maybe 94 if we can score Disney World, maybe 95 if we can score Disneyland out in California with some of your places, other places in Orange County.
Love it.
Thanks for spending time on Max TV. Kat, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It was awesome.